So, all right. So we've been on a journey. I've been on a journey. It started with, we had a fan. He's SmashedBrothersGaming on Instagram. And I follow him. He's one of these channels that like posts nostalgic imagery. He has like a game room. He's really kind of responsible for getting me into VHS collection, because he'll lay out these like, it'll be like the Spawn game for PS1. Here's the Spawn movie on VHS, and here it is playing on a CRT or something. I'm like, I'm kind of into whatever you're showing me here. And I became aware of him because he sent us this cool ROM hack cartridge called Slasher Kart 64. And we showed it during Halloween time, and it's a ROM hack of Mario Kart 64, but with horror villain icons. It's just a cool thing, and we talked about it on the pod. And he sells that card online. And then I was reached out to by this other guy, Richard, who I've talked about on the pod, who was like, "Hey, I sell reproduction Dreamcast games." And he sent me all these cool, like this big stack of jewel cases of Dreamcast games, including homebrews. So it included like the Cowabunga collection for Dreamcast, or some of the, like a Thomas Wave, like a Blue Dolphin for Dreamcast, like, which they'd never made, in North America. It was an arcade title, but it plays on the Dreamcast. And that was awesome. But when he sent me that stuff, I was like, my Dreamcast game ain't where it needs to be. I've got like an old, like some of the discs didn't play quite right, because I had like this weird Dreamcast Sports edition.
Where'd you get that one?
I bought it from a fucking electronics boutique in like 2001 or something.
Wow.
For $60. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't see you as the Sega Sports kind of guy.
No, you know what it was? Our friend Alan, I was staying, I must have been 15. Yeah, I was like 15 years old. Dreamcast had passed us by, and he was like, you know what we should do? We should go buy some Dreamcasts. Now, like $60 was a lot of money when you're 15. But we could maybe spend $60, like it was not like out of the question that we could, whereas like you can't go like buy a PS2, like that's a Christmas gift, but it was like, yeah, you know what? I think they're trying to get rid of those Dreamcasts because nobody's buying them. So like, why don't we go we'll both pick up a Dreamcast. That's what we did. And we went home and we bought Sonic Adventure 1, just Sonic Adventure 1. I think he went on to be a bigger Dreamcast fan. He did Skies of Arcadia and Soul Calibur and, Crazy Taxi and all the rest of it. I fell in love with Sonic Adventure 1. I was so grateful that I did buy I probably would have discovered it on GameCube maybe. But discovering it on Dreamcast was really fun. And I only bought a couple other games. I bought Sonic Adventure 2. I bought Mortal Kombat Gold, which was some kind of weird edition of Mortal Kombat 4. And I had like an ECW game that was unplayable. And I mean, totally unplayable. Because I got tricked, because I love No Mercy for N64. And I was like, all wrestling games are fun. They're not.
Not so.
No.
So, anyway, he sends me all these cool games. I want to play some of them. Daytona USA, I'm like, I'm into it. I don't like the control. I've never liked the controller. So I buy a Retro Fighter controller. I showed that on the pod. It's this cool, John may not have seen it. It's like it kind of makes the Dreamcast controller into a real controller, like one that you would actually want to use. Oh, and I was using RF for the video. And the guy, and that was part of the reason some of them wouldn't play. He was like, no, you need to replace that with RGB at the very least. Yeah. There's some proprietary connector. So I get everything all set up and I'm like, man, I just wish I had more games. And I start dreaming of that GDEMU. This it's a conversion you can do for your Dreamcast where you can pop in an SD card with all the ROMs. And I'm like, I don't do the mod thing. That's EJ. He's the electrical engineer around here. He's the one doing soldering. And but I thought about it. I was like, if I ever see, what I considered going to Etsy and spending $300 on like a pre-modded one. Somebody already did it. And I'll be like, just because then it's $300, but then you're good. You got Dreamcast forever.
Yeah, you don't have to spend an afternoon try to
exactly.
It.
So I started going around the Discord talking like that, and everybody was like, no. They were like, it's an easy mod. The kits are inexpensive, and they were like, why don't you just emulate anyway? Just get a nice PC, and it'll look better. But here's the thing. I have my gaming setup at this point is I have my work PC, and to the left is a little CRT, and I want to connect things to that and dick around on that. And that's like, I'm not going to be gaming outside of that probably. I have my handheld for that. Anyway, I kind of didn't think too much more about this. Then an angel appears named Smash Brothers Gaming. And he goes, "Hey, Frankie, I just saw you talk about the cool Dreamcast games that you got, the repros. And, I'm going to be selling this Chinese mod kit for the GDEMU, and they're really easy to install, and I'd like to send you it. Would you like that?" And I was like, "Yes, I would like that." And he goes, "Well, how about this? I'll send you a Dreamcast too, and I'll send you a controller. I'll send you he sends me a whole fucking Dreamcast." And so EJ, you can have my Sega Sports one if you'd like.
Oh, I love. Yeah, it would really bring up Joe Cool's reputation if I had that.
EJ's referring to I cut a supercut of Sega Loridex saying this thing was total shitholes, and whatever he says. And one of them was I can't believe they put Joe Cool's name on this.
This choppy crap fest of a game did not deserve Joe Cool's name on it in the slightest.
So here's a Dreamcast, and because he was sending everything, I thought for sure that it was going to be pre-modded the way I wanted it. But no, it's the whole kit. It's got bits and pieces, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not EJ. I'm not an electrical engineer.
Maybe I should just come over.
No, it's all good, man. Nina helped a little.
Oh.
But you can't see it from there probably, but look. Boink, that is an SD card.
Oh, nice.
Whoa.
And yeah, it was pretty easy. It's just this little unit, this black unit right here. You take out the disk drive, the optical drive on the Dreamcast, and you replace it with the kit that he's selling them for $99 at geekguilt.com, the same place that you can get the Smash Brothers, the Slasher Kart 64. And I plugged it in. I got a menu full of games.
It's awesome.
I'm playing Crazy Taxi 2.
You don't have to bend any pins like the PlayStation or anything. You just plug it in.
You know what? This is something I've never heard anybody talk about. The Dreamcast disk drive is loud. It's
yes.
the whole time you're playing Sonic 2. It's just the whole time, and this makes it nice and quiet.
Yeah, I wanted to. Gabriel was curious about the Wii U, so I brought it up. And even the Wii U's disk drive, I just put it on a disc, and it's like, burr, burr, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about all this stuff.
Yeah,
forgot about CDs make weird noises.
Could I build a PC or something that emulate? Because in my experience, the kind of the all-in-ones and the stuff that I'm using right now, even the Raspberry Pi, the emulation's not perfect. It's not by a long shot. And so could I do perfect Dreamcast emulation? Sure. But I think I prefer the original console. Call me a hipster.
Yeah, you need the totem. You need the relic on a CRT, and then you're good.
It's just to me, it's just kind of been a weird combination though. It's like a combination of updating the old console with this new technology, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah. I don't know if you're not satisfying the purists, obviously, and you're not satisfying the emulation crowd. You're just kind of in the middle,
Well, do you feel that way about EverDrives?
I do, kind of.
You do something fairly, I think, fairly smart, which is you have your analog SNES console. Yep. This is the man, by the way, who hosts JuntSNES.
Yes.
And if you like our retro gaming content on this podcast, holy fuck, we made an entire series, a mini series. It was 12 episodes or something that does a deep dive into John's SNES collection. And I think it's some of our finest work.
I do too.
We built a beautiful set. I shoot it with multiple cameras with great lensing. And
EJ showed up ready to make something nice, and he did. But you had the EverDrive's SD to SNES cartridge, and you put that into your analog SNES, which is HDMI. So you kind of get there that way.
Yeah, it's a strange path to get there as well. It's definitely a weird thing, but I actually love that setup. I use it quite often. I play all kinds of stuff on there.
You SNES specifically?
Yeah, SNES. Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. But I guess I hear what you're saying, but I don't know, man. To me, if I want to play on my original NES, Felix the Cat, on a CRT, that's the EverDrive's a perfect way to do that.
Yeah,
No
you,
issue.
you don't have to go
you're
on eBay and spend $100 on a Felix the Cat cart. And you don't have to switch out carts all the time. It's the same. It's literally the same experience. Like, you wouldn't be if you put in Felix the Cat cart or the EverDrive with the ROM loaded up. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference on original hardware.
No.
Yeah, that is what I love about that SD2 SNES that I have. Is I can, if I want to, I can pop it in an original SNES and it works great. It works perfect.
And what makes the SD2 SNES different than, like, they have EverDrives, like the whatever they are.
The thing that's special about it,
special chips.
Yeah, it has a big FPGA in it, and it can emulate any of the special chips. So it can basically emulate any game in the whole library.
This is this is the FX PAX Pro. It's the same chip inside, but they had to rebrand it for some reason.
Yes, they did. Yeah, because the SNES in the title made Nintendo upset.
Oh, I want to say that my man who sent me this incredible gift. I mean, truly, look. If you want to send me awesome stuff, that's what John says when we're sent cool BoxMac things on BoxMac. He's like, look, if you want to send me cool gifts, I'm available.
I kind of wish we would do more Pewtersmith so people would send me cool computer stuff, like Adrian's Digital Basement or something.
That's a good idea. He also sent, because he knows that I'm getting into VHS collection just a little bit, he sent me a cool limited edition Jurassic Park Lost World VHS. They had a hologram on it. And he sent me a Terminator 2 Judgment Day VHS.
Wow.
Very cool. Very cool.
So he's just packing stuff in, just being a nice guy. What a guy.
What a guy.
So are you going to make any video content around that Dreamcast, or is this it right here?
It's a miracle I got the thing installed. And, I intend to... What would I like to play on it that I haven't played so far? Yeah, I've never actually fucked around with Skies of Arcadia. I know it's an RPG, but
it's an RPG. Don't bother.
I'll hate it. Okay.
There's the game that I played. I have a Dreamcast as well, and I had some games. And the game that I by far played the most was this ridiculous game narrated by Leonard Nimoy involving seamen. Yes.
Did you actually play it?
I did extensively. It by far got the most playtime on my Dreamcast of any title I had.
Wow.
It didn't have that microphone attachment that you had to sort of talk,
and you had to talk to them.
To the seamen.
It didn't really work, of course, because it was, 10 years, 15, 20 years ago, But I loved that game, actually. It was so much fun. I highly recommend it.
I remember there was weirdly a lot of hype around it at the time.
Yes. It was some people, I've heard that people love it. They actually think it's really fun and funny and whatever. So anyway, I went from not that interested in digging out my old Dreamcast to I was talking to that Richard guy yesterday. He was like, the future is now. He's like, you went from RF to GDEMU. So good for you.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.